Hi everybody, it's Dragana from Saacibo. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Every time I go to any craft shops, if they have new scrapbooking paper, I just have to have it. And sometimes I don't even read what's written. I just buy it, bring it home, open it up, and I realize that it's one-sided. Where is it? So they're just printed on one side and the back is all white. I always do the same thing, and of course if I don't do something about it straight away, I might not even use them, because honestly it's really annoying when you want to work in your journal and add pages to your signatures and all of a sudden there's this blank white page and I don't know what to do with it, and I just take the paper out and use something else. So I thought that this time I'll challenge myself to take this whole pack of 24 pages. It says it has 24 sheets, yeah, and I'm going to fix the background straight away. Since I'm doing that, I thought I'd share this process with you. First, most obvious way of doing this would be to just stain your papers with some natural dyes like tea or coffee or rust. So let's just do that. Let's do the first one with just coffee, and I'm just going to use a brush, just ordinary brush, and I have a really strong coffee here, just probably about 3 teaspoons per cup of coffee. I'm just going to brush this coffee all over this page. All done. I'll just put it aside to dry. So 1 down, 23 to go. Let's do the next one with tea. I have tea here in a spray bottle. I can use the brush as well, but since mine is in a spray bottle, I'll just do that. Okay, that was even quicker, wasn't it? So I'll just do something like that. Let it drip down and put it aside to dry. Let's do this one, but this time I'm just going to use the rust, which is basically rusty bits of metal that was sitting in 1 part water, 1 part vinegar for about a week. And I'll just spray this one as well. And what's really good about this one is you can see the little kind of like metal bits. It's actually, when they dry, they look like glitter. So I really like this. So I'm just going to spray this. Of course you can use your brush with this one as well, but I'm just spraying it quick, and this will most likely get darker as it dries. We still have one more. Say for example you want to have a bit of more color, not just one color, you want to have some variations of color, then you can combine those 2 or 3. So I'll just start with the tea. That. And I have this stencil. So if you have stencils, or if you have one of those plastic lace tablecloths, or if you have some whatever that can be used as a stencil, I have this one, so I want to use that one. So I'm just going to put it down, and now I'm going to spray coffee. Coffee is a little bit darker. And now I'm going to spray rust on top, and it's going to get really dark. But I won't spray it everywhere, I'll just spray, say, around. See how it's becoming really dark grey. Okay, so that's done as well. I'm going to leave it to dry with the stencil on top. we've covered staining the paper with natural dyes. The next on my list would be to use some watercolors. I have some watercolors that come in tubes, and they're really handy because I can dilute them in water and put in spray bottles like this. This is the easiest way to get the color onto your backgrounds using these old watercolors. So let's pick a page. I might use this one again. It's got a bit of pink and it's got a bit of green, and I think because this side is really busy, I can actually do a really nice background with purple and green. So basically just spray. We want to have 2 colors, and I'm going to spray some green. It already looks very nice, and where they meet they're going to mix, and when once it's dry it's going to look really pretty, I think. I hope so anyway. Okay, let's just have a little bit more of the purple, I think. Now that was quick, wasn't it? So we've got another one done really quickly. I'll just put this one aside to dry. If you don't have watercolors that come in tubes like that, but perhaps you have watercolors like this, you can still do something with them. And you can just quickly create abstract background with just a brush and some watercolors. I like to use 2 or 3 colors, not too many, because it gets complicated then. We just do stripes like that. You see, you don't have to have any special skill. I'm not really good with watercolors, but I can do this. Gonna look like a checkered shirt. Here we go. That's just a quick background just using watercolors, and yeah, no special drawing skills or painting skills required. You just pick 2 colors and you go crisscross. I have my gloves on. That means the acrylics are next. I just picked some pages. This one, that one, just for the kids. This one, just the one that's blurred. Okay, so next 4 pages we're going to fix quickly with acrylics. Let's just do this one first. As you can see, it's kind of pink and blue, and it's got a bit of red. So we'll stick to that. Maybe would look good with a bit more blue or with darker background. Yeah, when you do that, it would look good with some of that blue. Okay, and I really love applying acrylics quickly with just a sponge like this. So I'll just get some colors, blue, some white, a bit of pink. You can mix your colors just with a palette knife. So I'll just quickly mix some light blue, and I'm just going to quickly mix some that pink. So we'll stick to that really light colored background, and let's just do first the blue. So it's that easy. I already like it. So I'm going around. And you know, when you do it this way, you actually get a little bit of texture as well, which is really nice, I think. And acrylics also make your paper a little bit thicker. Okay, so now I just switched to this one. holding my paper slightly because I don't want it to move too much, because I've made a bit of a mess here. I don't want to get it necessarily acrylics on the other side. There, just to balance it out. Just a little bit here. Okay, how quick was that? I think it was very quick, and it's a really nice background. Yeah, looks good. Okay, let's put it aside. Let's get another page. What do we have here? We have greens and yellows and like creamy colors. So this time I'll show you how to do it, not with a sponge but with a brush. I'll use this kind of like a yellowish ochre and a little bit of white. And this time just wet my brush and just, just mix those two, but not completely. And I just lightly brush and hold the paper. And I'll just go in either straight, vertical, horizontal. Find it works best. Add water if you need to. In some areas I like to use a little bit of more of the dark color, just to have that kind of like dimension. That was quick as well, wasn't it? Let me just put it aside to dry. Let's grab another page. What do we have here? Now here we have also a little bit of green and a bit of blue. Okay, if you have one of these, you might want to try working this way. I'll just grab this again. And I'm going to just scrape off this color, put it there. White. And this is similar to working on your jelly plate. So you just apply the color with the sprayer. and gives kind of like a really grungy look, which I like. And there are some areas that are still white, so what I want to do now is just add a little bit of blue, just a touch, and a bit of green, and more the white. Ooh, that's really bright now. Let's get some more yellow. Just tone it down a bit. I think it's better. Now, in areas where it's not really covered, I really like it now. And it was very quick, wasn't it? And we've got a few different tones. I like that one. Another thing you can do with the acrylics that's also gonna give you like a fun, interesting looking background is just some mark making. And you get brushes that are like different, like square ones or the round ones, bigger, wider ones, you know, whatever brushes you have, but a few different ones in terms of size would be preferable. And then just pick a color. Like with this one, I'd pick, like, I wouldn't go black, but maybe gray. So I'll grab another piece of acetate. Yeah, that's probably enough. Like that. And I don't want it too black, and I will put a little bit of white just to have it more like a gray. I don't want it really, really dark. Okay, just mix those up. Have a nice gray. That will work well with the pink on this side, I think. Maybe a little bit more black. Let's get some clean water. And we start. You can just start by making marks. We'll start on the top. Just do squares. Here it is. That was quick, wasn't it? Okay, another interesting page. Okay, let's put that one aside. Apart from painting the backgrounds of these papers with stains, watercolors, acrylics, we can also glue things on top of them. So, for example, we can glue fabric on the back of one of those papers. So just pick a few here. Do that one. And I think this one would really look good if I just glue this piece of fabric on the back. Wouldn't that be nice? And then later on I can decide if I'm going to cut it and do some sewing around and things like that. But for now, let's just glue this down. And for this, I prefer to just use glue stick. You know, just cover the whole page with a good amount of glue stick. And I like to use thinner fabrics. Just like that. And you can use double-sided tape, you can use you know, fabric glue, but I find that this just works well because if I'm going to use fabric later on, I will most likely just sew around the edges and then that will be secured. So I think this is the right side. I'll just start from one end. I think I cut the fabric a little bit bigger than the page. I probably don't need my gloves anymore. Oof. So quick, isn't it? And it will stay there, and then later on I can trim off this or leave it. I can cut it in other different shapes, but at least it's secured now. Yeah, another one. done really quickly. What else can we glue? We can glue napkins. Let's grab another page. This one. What else do I have? Oh, I'll have this. I'll take this one first. So, does this one have a direction? Can't really tell. Perhaps like that. So if I have a plainer background like this, I like to glue a colorful napkin on this side, something like this. And I use half glue, half water approximately. Just grab a white brush and I'll just brush this glue all over this page. I prefer to use PVA glue rather than Mod Podge for this type of project because it dries quicker and it's not sticky. It doesn't get sticky afterwards, if you know what I mean. Sometimes some of those napkin glues can get really... My brush is shedding. Okay, so I just grab this, place it over. Doesn't really matter if it's not right, and I'll just glue this on top. And I don't care if it wrinkles. I actually want that. I want that texture there. All done. All I need to do is let it dry and then I can cut off the excess. Perhaps you don't have any fancy napkins. Maybe you just have a plain colored napkin like this one, just in one color. Well, that should not be a problem. We just grab another page and you glue this on top of that with lots of wrinkles. And once it's dry, you go over it with a finger wax and it will end up looking like a faux leather kind of. You'll have a really nice texture, and if you have some gold or silver, you know, that would look awesome on it. So let's do that one here. So I'd probably leave this just to dry. Suppose you don't have any fancy napkins, but you don't even have a colored napkins, you only have a white napkin. That's all right. Just grab another piece of this and get your white napkin ready. And get some dried flowers, you know, from the park, from the garden. There's some petals here. I've got some here. I left these in a book for about a week, flatten them out so they can be used now they're dry. So you're basically making like a full botanical handmade paper, which I have a tutorial on how to do this, but not on the scrapbooking paper. I will leave the link down below if you'd like to see, but let's just do this onto the scrapbooking paper. So we'll just add this glue. cover everything with the glue nicely, and then we'll just arrange this. So I don't think the paper really has direction, does it? Does. Let's just drop some of these little plants. I won't use the grass, it's too thick. What do I have here? Some violets. Maybe some of these are, I think, apple blossom. We had a windy day when the apples were in bloom and a lot of flowers just dropped, so I picked them off the ground and dried them a little bit more. It's a shame. Okay, that's plenty. While it's still wet, let's just put that white napkin on top, just like that. And we go again over with the glue. Only I would use a little bit more water and less glue for this part. But, you know, just try and be really Now, when you mix the glue for this, you can, oh, it broke. This glue is a bit thick, that's why it's breaking, but I don't want to stop the process now. So instead of going to get some water, I'm just going to add some tea into the glue, which is fine. It will just even look better. It will have a little bit of, you know, color. So you just go over gently. I like this with the tea. Just give it a little bit more color. I think those flower blossom petals are kind of bumpy. I should have used something that is flat, but you know, too late now. It is what it is. Just a little bit of bubbles. Take this one out as well. If your napkin breaks a lot, if you have an issue like I have here, what you can do is just, once this is dry, or even while it's still wet, you just add another layer of napkin on top, and that usually just seals everything nicely. once it's dry, it's going to look really interesting. Okay, so we'll leave that to dry. Now, what else can we glue? We can glue two of them together. I suppose. Just grab, for example, this one and a plainer background like that. The one that you can still use for writing. And you just glue it together. You can use the wet glue, or I'll just use a glue stick, I suppose. And what will happen is I'll double up basically the thickness of the paper. When I cut out these little images, they're going to be like little cards. They'll be thick enough, and I can turn them into tags, or just journaling cards, and they'll be kind of suitable for writing on the back as well. So I think they qualify for that. I can't see if I put glue everywhere. I hope I did. I start from one corner. And if I'm a little bit off, it doesn't matter, I'll trim it off. Ooh, that is from my nail polish. It's not good. Okay, it's done. We just let it dry, and then we cut it off. Great. There's something else we can do when it comes to gluing. We can glue packaging paper on the back. We can glue scraps, little scraps and bits and pieces that we have. And we can also glue book pages. So let's just do one. You can do like a proper masterboard, you know, like a collage on the back. But because this one is already kind of busy, I thought I'll just glue some of the book pages. I'll just cover this whole thing with the glue. I could do it with a glue stick, but honestly, I think since I have the glue ready, it's just much quicker. And I won't think about it too much. I'll just keep placing these in different directions. I don't want it to be up or down. I just want it to be in all directions, so that when I cut it, it doesn't really matter which way is up. And I'll probably overlap them slightly. I'm just trying to use different pages, like different color papers, and some are older than the others. Say that is done, perhaps here. Yeah, that's it. That's done. It's a really interesting looking page. I love it. I love it. and it's really quickly done. All right, so enough with the gluing. I'm all covered in glue. I'll put this aside to dry. And the next thing would be, if you don't want to mess with the stains, with acrylics, with glue or watercolors, but you have inks, let's play with inks. Okay. And we can just use like something like this, like sponges, and you pick some colors. Let's say I'll pick gray and this one and that one. Okay, and I'll take this one. Okay, so all I do, put them up, have them, all right, like that, just to organize myself a little bit better. Okay, I'll start with one color. Let's start with hickory smoke. I have like circles. Just dab, 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 dab. Like I said, the whole point is for this to be quick. You don't want to spend all day on one piece of paper. I mean, you could, but okay, done with that one. Okay, I'll do this one now. This is brushed corduroy. This was hickory smoke. Okay, now I'll try to go in between. I found that if I press a little bit harder, instead of a circle, it gives me a square for some reason. I don't know. But this is really fun. Oops. This is really fun, I think. Just getting some colors down. Really quickly. Okay, enough of that one. Okay, now let's do this one. What's this? Seedless preserves. Okay, again, just spread them out. It already looks very interesting, I think, how the colors overlap, and let's do that. Dimensional effect. Okay, let's see, it's very interesting. I like it. I like these colors together. All right, one down. Most of us will have some sort of stamps, and even if you don't have colors, you'll have black or brown ink for sure, and we'll have at least one butterfly, a flower, a leaf, and some script. Okay, so let's see what we can make with those. I'll just grab, let's grab this one. Okay, so the idea with this again is to just go in different directions. Alright, how quick was that? And it's a really interesting background. I love it. You can still do something with ink if you have some stencils like these. I'll just grab this one. I suppose there's pink and there's blue. Hope this ink is dry. Alright, so you just grab one. If you have 2, 3, whatever, even if it's just one, then just do different colors. This time I'll start with the pink. I think that's pretty good. So that was another quick one done. I think it's really interesting. Okay, so we have 3 done just with ink, some stamps and some stencils. I thought I'd show you what you can do if you don't want to mess with glue, you don't want to mess with ink or tea or coffee or acrylics, whatever. You just want to do some quick little drawings with your markers, for example, or your pencils. So I just picked a few Sharpies here, and I'm just going to do some doodling, like lines, squares, stars, circles, swirls, whatever, and pick the colors that you want. For example, maybe I'll just stick, maybe I can just do these. I'll just stick with those 3 colors. Maybe I'll add some grey, I don't know. And, you know, I'll just start. Maybe I'll just start from the center. I'll just use one color first. And I'll just start with drawing some shapes. Really simple. Squares and triangles and circles, and I'm just spacing them out. I don't really think too much about what I'm doing. I'm just trying to fill out the page. So that's like a quick way again to do a background with just markers and some scribbling. That was a quick one. And also very much fun. Alright, now we have one more that I want to do with the markers. And this one would be best if you have some sort of like a pen, nice pen. You can do like a fake writing, you know. Just start writing and you just pretend you're writing. Okay, here we go, fake writing. We can do that. All right, that one's done as well. Now, with this one, I thought I could just wax it. I have a tutorial on waxing the paper, so I'm not going to do it now in front of the camera, but it will look something like this. I hope you can see. It will become translucent. I think if I wax these, that would look so good, you know, and then I can use them in a journal to glue them on top, and I wouldn't have to worry about the white background. Only one left, and with that one I think it's best, you know, if you don't want to bother with anything that I've shown you, you can just cut it to the size of your printer paper. Just put it through your printer. Make sure you then feed it into the printer this way, and you just print whatever images you have. For example, like this one here, I cut it off. I'll use that to make pockets or something, and I just printed one of my digitals on the back, and it's fixed. That's like the quickest, but you have to use your printer and you have to have some printables with you. So what I'll do, I will leave all of the papers to dry, and then tomorrow, once they dry, we'll go through all of them again. I was so excited this morning when I got up. I just could not wait to have a look at the papers. I placed them under a heavy book for about an hour while I had my coffee and my breakfast, and they seem to flatten out really nice. So let's go through them. This was the one that was done with a coffee, with just brushed coffee, and I think it's just really nice. Look, it looks beautiful. Have a little bit of like a stain here, but that's all right. It's part of the character, and I really like this one. This was the one done with spraying just tea, and I dropped a little bit of rust while I was taking this one down to flatten it out to dry. I think I dropped a little bit of rust here, so that's why it got darker, but it doesn't really matter. It's still very nice. I like that. And you can see the difference between the coffee and the tea. That's nice, really. And this is nice as well, but much lighter. And look at the rust. This one's really dramatic, and it's so much darker than the other two. And where the liquid pulled, the color became even darker. I don't know if you can see, but those little bits of metal, they really like glitter. They're like shimmer in the light. I like this one, and it goes so well with this design here. But have a look at that one. We used both coffee, tea, and rust and the stencil, and I think this is just gorgeous. I love it. And it even went onto the other side. I think rust is really a strong dye to use on your papers, and it gives really interesting results. And where it meets tea and coffee, it goes grey. I love this one. Okay, now watercolors. This is when we sprayed, and I think the water pulled on this side, so it became a little bit darker, but I love how light it is, and it still has a bit of color. I love it, and it looks really nice. Have a look. Looks really nice with this paper. A bit of purple, a bit of green. It's not too much, it's just really good. This one turned out interesting as well, and I think it's really colorful. And how's this going? Is it the right way up? Yeah. So again, I might have used a little bit too much of the green. It could have gone with a bit more yellow, but it's fine, you know, it's really interesting. I can still work on top of it, do some drawings or something like that. And here we come to the acrylics. I love how this one turned out. It's really dimensional and it looks really nice with this background. Look, the pink and the blue, it's just really pretty. I love it. I love this one. This one as well, it's got the brush strokes, just the soft pastel yellow, and it works really well with this paper. So yeah, I like that one too. This is the one we've done with the brayer. I also like that one. It's got a bit of texture, and that one is also looking really good with this paper. With a bit of green and yellow. Really nice. I like it. Now this one was the most fun making, and I loved watching the recording again, and my husband said, oh, can you just do that one? I like to watch how you make those marks. I really love doing that one, and it's just, you know, it works so well with this pink. Yeah, it would look good in the journal. The fabric one, yeah, it's really nice. And you see the colors work really well and can be used to make pockets or to make little pouches, or just as a page like that, cut the size. I like that one too. Now the napkins, this one is just gorgeous, really gorgeous. I love it. And this napkin is not like you know, when you have the pattern that repeats and just mirrors. This one is all in like one direction, so it worked really well on the paper. And you know, the napkins are almost the same size as 12 by 12 papers. They're just slightly a bit bigger. I just trimmed off the excess. I love this one. It just really, and it's got the texture as well. Now this is the one we've done just with the blue napkin, and I want to show you, just I just have here some finger wax, antique gold. So this is what you do. You can have gold or you can have silver, and you just go with your finger on top to create that effect, almost like full leather. A bit more here. This is just like a demonstration. There you go. I love how this looks. I love how this looks. So once we add that gold there, it's going to even be better. It's going to match even better with this page. You can have a lighter gold. I think I have some, but I'm not going to do it now. So that's how you do it with a just colored napkins. And this one, I struggled with this one because I used dried petals that were not dried flat, but more like air dried. But it turned out all right. Look, it's just really cute. And because the glue was too thick, I added a bit of coffee, I think, to dilute it, and it created a little like aged look. So I really love this one. It turned out really good in the end, and it works really well with this daisies background. I love it. Now with this one we glued two together so that it's quite sturdy. It's perfect to create little cards for the journal, so maybe like tags or something like that. I like that one. Yeah, that was easy. This one as well, this was so much fun. And you know, I can further decorate now to have like a masterboard. I can just leave it like that and maybe cut some tags, or even, you know, just use as a page. It's good. All right, now these ones were so much fun, just using ink. Really nice. I love it. And the paper didn't warp or anything because we didn't use a wet medium. This as well, I loved it. I mean, you know, you can actually do a fourth one with just using all three of these techniques. You start with this, then you add a bit of that, and then you end up with this. So you get even a richer background. But this worked, I think, well, just like that. And this one as well. Really nice. Good. And this was fun as well. It's really like happy, like it goes well with daisies. You know, just some doodling, making little shapes and numbers and just with markers. I think it's fun. At least it's not white. And of course you can do this on top of a tea stain, or if you don't want to see any white, but you know, this was just a demonstration. This one as well, it would look better on the tea stain paper, but as a demonstration, just quickly showing you how you can do the fake writing on the background as well. Okay, so I went ahead and I waxed this paper, so I'll just show you the difference. You see how this one is a little bit, you can probably see here, it's translucent. You can see, I hope you can see this. Just lift it up. It becomes almost like tracing paper. And although it's 160 GSM, it's a thicker paper, you can still see the images on the back. So that's another way of fixing the background quickly. Just use some candles and a hot iron. And like I said, the link to the tutorial will be in the description box below, so you can see how to do that as well. And I think I've shown you this one. I just cut on one side and I put it through the printer. So I still have this as a white bit, but that's alright. I'll just use it somewhere to make a pocket or something like that. And you know, just use your printables or whatever images you have, and you're good to go. That's my 12 by 12 scrapbooking paper with blank backgrounds sorted out. They're all ready to go into journals. I can always add more to them if I'd like, or just leave them as they are. I hope you had fun watching this video, and I hope it gave you some ideas, and I hope I see you again next time really soon. Bye for now.